Now it's time for another Board Game Brawl preview with Nick Meanahan, sponsored by BoardGameBliss.com. Hey peeps, today we're going to take a look at a game that is currently seeking funding on Kickstarter. That game is called The Rise of Mafia. If you like what you see throughout the rest of this preview video, I'm going to encourage you to go to the official Kickstarter project page. The project has already started. You can go there, find out more information, and hopefully consider backing the project. Follow the link in the top corner of your screen as well as down in the description section underneath this video. Now, Rise of Mafia is a competitive game where you and the other players are prospective Mafia Dons. You're already in the Mafia, but now you're trying to rise to the top of the ranks and take control of the entire operation. But how are you going to do that? Well, first you need to establish yourself. You need to get businesses. You need to have a show of your wealth with nice, beautiful homes, the kind that Scarface had. And then you need to do a lot of other nasty and dirty tricks to the other players in order to extort them, get money from them, and sometimes even murder characters as well. Of course, this is all going to be done through clever card play and hand management. Let me go ahead and give you a brief look at how the game is played with a prototype copy of the game. So what you see in this preview video may change slightly in the final version of the game. Just keep that in mind. Then we're going to come back and we'll discuss it further. The Rise of Mafia is a competitive card game for 4 to 8 players. The goal of the game is for one player to earn the title of Mafia Don by setting up 5 businesses and 2 residences. Once one player completes this objective, one more round is played. If any other player also completes this objective, the eligible players will add up all of their investments in businesses and residences, and whoever has the higher total is the true Don and the winner of the game. To set up the game, first deal each player a random character card, featuring the character's name, portrait, and preferred business. Lay out all the different denominations of currency, as well as a stack of face-up loan cards. There's also a single 6-sided die for certain cards. Take the stack of good luck cards, shuffle them, and deal 3 out to each player. The rest of the good luck cards are removed from the game and will not be used. All of the rest of the cards in the game are shuffled together into one stack and placed between all the players, and then you're ready to play. Decide who goes first. On your turn, you'll draw a card from the main deck and then get $1,000. This is your standard income. You may also play one card on your turn, unless a card gives you the ability to play more than one. You can also trade cards with players, and this will not count against your ability to play that one card. You may choose to play one of your starting good luck cards. You'll gain the positive effect of the card, then discard it permanently from the game. There are several types of cards in the deck you may play instead. Businesses can be invested in by paying money up front, and then on future turns you will earn the profit listed on the card. The more businesses you buy, the more money you get each turn. And of course you need at least 5 businesses to win the game. Some businesses can even merge, with more than one player owning a stake in it. Casual businesses are not permanently owned, but instead give you one-time effects when played, and then they're discarded. You might have to roll the die to symbolize gambling or make temporary investments to get more money. Residence cards can simply be purchased for the written amount and placed down. You'll need at least 2 to win the game. Some residences also give you special protections from some of the other cards in the game. Event cards are really bad cards that will affect all players in the game when drawn, not just you. Bad luck cards have a different card back than the rest of the deck, so all players know it's coming up and who will have to draw it. These are the opposite of the good luck cards, and they are always bad. When drawn, you'll have to read the card out loud and then take whatever the punishment is. If at any time you need money during the game, either because you want to purchase something or another player is demanding payment, you can take one of the loan cards from the stack, which gives you money equal to 50% of your total investments. You can also borrow from the other players. The bank will charge 20% interest for its loans, and the other players will charge you 10%. You must pay back all loans and debt before you can win the game. It's also possible for players to murder each other once per game, but only if they have control of the murder business. Keep taking turns in clockwise order until one or more players meet the requirements to become Don. That is a brief summary of the Rise of Mafia. The Rise of Mafia has a lot of interesting things going on. First off, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it's essentially a hand management game. You have to very carefully decide how you're going to use your different cards throughout the course of the game. Now, of course, you are building up to, as I mentioned in the overview section, you are building up towards those 5 businesses and 2 residences that you need. But of course, if you just go for that as soon as you possibly can at the beginning, then you might find that they're subject to the nasty attacks of the other players, or you just don't leave yourself enough money for the other things you need to do during the course of the game. So you might hold back on doing everything and putting them out there right away, and use some of your other like casual business cards or even your good luck cards to sort of manipulate the game in your favor first until it's the most beneficial time to place down your businesses and residences. But of course, the faster you get your businesses out, the more money you're going to be making over the course of the game. So there's sort of a give and take there as to how you want to play your cards, and that's where the hand management part comes in. There's lots of interesting bits of theme put into the game, of course the Mafia theme, where you have your characters who are adept at different businesses. You can trade and wheel and deal with the other players, extort them at times, do nasty things, do friendly things with them, and in that regard, it is like what happens in the Mafia, or so I hear, the waste disposal business, because you have to sometimes make deals with your other, let's say, co-workers, but you sometimes have to stab them in the back, and that's just the way that it goes, and then you might go right back to helping them again, in order to help each other get ahead, but not too far ahead, because you want to be the Mafia Don eventually. And it's also interesting because it is entirely possible that more than one player is going to reach the prerequisite number of businesses and residences at the same time, at which case you need to make sure that you've actually been cultivating the most expensive investments during the course of the game, because that's going to be the tiebreaker. You also have to make sure that if you've taken loans during the course of the game, you're going to have to pay those back. So there's always a cost to doing business. But all these different things together add up to an interesting hand management card game with a surprising amount of theme to it as well. If any of this appeals to you, it's a game that's going to be good for casual gamers, for more strategic gamers, and people who like this type of theme. If you fall into any of those categories, you should definitely check out the official Kickstarter project page. You don't have to take my word for it. Follow the link in the top corner of your screen, as well as down in the description section underneath this video. Those links will take you to the page. You can find out more information and hopefully consider backing the project. That is The Rise of Mafia. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting our sponsors. Take care. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And make sure to check out our sponsor, Board Game Bliss, where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world. BoardGameBliss.com. Thanks for your support.